What's good, praise y'all? Welcome in. Let me turn this down a little bit. Already clipping. Yeah, so more pictures. Woke up this morning, noticed this on Reddit. I've said that I'm not going to do any more speculation, but it looks like we really don't need to speculate too much more. This thing is looking real. Looks like it's coming out soon. There's more pictures, a lot of pictures, and they're high resolution photos. I seen this on Reddit. Shout out to Shigito, who was in the chat. Yes, so I was going to shout him out because I noticed that these photos are by someone by the name of Shigito Beats. And sure enough, he did post them to Reddit. So I was kind of curious. I think I left him a comment in there in the Reddit row. I think I left you a comment where you got these, and I didn't go through the whole Reddit, read everybody's comments, responses and stuff, but I was trying to figure out if like where they came from, stuff. So if you could let us know, that would be cool. But we appreciate it regardless. And I'm about to pull them up so we can look at them. This is the Reddit post right here. Yeah, man, the design is growing on me too, Shigito. So, and as you look at more of these photos, man, it is starting to look a lot cooler, a lot dope, and like the possibilities. So, yeah, I'll pull them up in a second. Everybody, what's good though? I went ahead and downloaded them all so I can have them full screen, and I can't do when I pull up Reddit on my phone, I can't do it as a horizontal. But yeah, here is one of the first photos. Why does the photo look so dusty? Yeah, that's just a little thing I did for the for my thumbnail. So these are actually high res photos here. So let's take a look. I don't know why my shoot. Check. I sound like I'm clipping or something. Oh, okay, here we go. I had Air Flavor Pro on my input. I do that sometime when I'm sampling. All right, but look at this photo. And there's a bunch of them, man. There's like yeah. So you can see the detail there. It's on. You see all the buttons, the pads in their colorful glory. We got the touch strip on the side. What do you guys think? How you feeling? I'm just gonna go through them real quick, as many as possible. I'm not gonna be on here too long. I just wanted to look at them with you. And then there's one like overhead one that I think we can zoom in and like really see what the buttons are all about. But yeah, so some of my like impressions initially when I seen the first leak photo is I'm just assuming that this thing is bigger than the Live 2. And if you guys want to see, I definitely want to get this on the channel here. So give me a thumbs up for the stream if you guys want to see it on the channel. And I'll definitely, like, as soon as I get it, I'll compare it. I'm sure there'll be some people comparing the size of it soon when it does get announced. But I'm assuming this is bigger just because you have the touch strip on the side. So it's got to be a little bit longer, I would assume, at the very least longer. I don't think it needs to be necessarily from top to bottom, but definitely like longer, I'm thinking. So yeah, I think so there was 2 posts on Reddit. I had gotten this one from the one that Shugito posted, and then I think this one is even more high res over here, or at least I don't know. I think you can kind of see this one was posted by Illustrious Egg 6406, and I could see all that a little bit better. So I'm gonna get back to that, but I want to look at some of these angles. See, that other one is just a little bit more clear as far as the buttons and stuff. I think we'll be able to see everything. So touch strip there. I see the touch strip is just as usual. MPC and Guitar was doing a video reaction or a stream reaction to this, and I had commented on that because the other picture you didn't have like it wasn't on, so you wouldn't see this. It was just like a black strip, and I thought maybe it was like an LED thing that resembled like the MPC X LEDs under the Q-Links, because it looked like that, just like a vertical one. But right here it's just looking like the standard touch strip stuff with I think you got the, what do you call it, just the stuff that you would see, like the note repeat information. So cool. And then I don't know, so these lights on these pads, Oh, this is like, I mean, it's hard to say if this is like an actual photo of it on. I guess it is. When you think about when you load up like some of the templates with your MPC that, you know, are that come along with like the demos and stuff, it'll have the pads color coded, and they'll be color coded for like type of sample. Like if it's a drum sound, it might be red, and if it's a loop, it might be like that teal color or whatever. So yeah, it does look like they light up on top. It's interesting. So I'm not really seeing. So it looks like they removed the light from like how we have on the MPC, all the other MPCs where the light is. Here, I'll just pull up my MPC or my overhead. I don't know if you can see it from the overhead. The light is coming from the, you know, the edge of the pad. Let me clear this up a little bit. So yeah, so the light on the side, which I like. So this is different. It looks like the pad is pretty much, they've done a big switch up where there's no light on the side. It's completely on the top. So that's interesting. I don't know if we'll see MPC stuff pads made like this. There's the mic. I'm excited about trying that out. You can see a few of the buttons on there. There's a mic on button, which definitely that's a good thing because you're probably there's gonna be a lot of like mess ups, like people turning on their speaker, their monitors with the mic on and stuff, and getting a feedback loop. So I imagine that mic button comes in handy for those moments, screeching moments. So yeah, excited to try that. Some of the other buttons there, you got tap tempo, loop on. I'm interested to see what that is. Well, I guess that's probably just like since the rec to arrange, there's a rec to arrange mode button, which is interesting. So I assume those things kind of work in conjunction, because if you want to create where you're like recording in, and I don't do this, this is more of like the conventional working in a DAW type of workflow where you're recording to a whole timeline, and you could choose the loop stuff or not. So yeah, that's intriguing. That actually seems like it might lead me into working in a different way, or at least trying it out. You know, I like working the same way as I did before 3.0, where I just I do things within like 4-bar loops and just arrange in song mode and then go into the arranger. So I don't know, this might intrigue me, you know. So new buttons could be very interesting. Although my initial reaction, I think like most people, is some people love it, but my initial reaction was, man, this is pretty ugly. It's just a lot going on. It's busy. And but I am open to being wrong, just like I was, and a lot of people were wrong when it came to the speaker. A lot of people thought that was corny. As myself, like, I'm not going to use that. But I ended up liking it, you know, and a lot of people did too. So here's the rear panel. I remember a lot of people saying that they thought there was no phono inputs because we got that first leak photo was just the overhead, and you couldn't see, you know, like we go back to here. Let's see this one. You couldn't see them, I guess. But I mean, they're kind of right there. It's kind of obvious. But what we're missing is that we didn't know, I guess, that we had combo jacks. So the combo jacks moves those stereo inputs, which they can be used as mono for microphones. But yeah, they were moved, so they used to be like right next to the phonos in a vertical, you know, way. So other than that, everything else seems to be the same, in the same place. Speaker on, little switch, main outs, 3, 4, 5, 6 signable outs. You get your ground, CVs, normal SD card slot right there, 2 MIDI ins and outs, and 2 USB ports, plus the USB-C has replaced the USB-B, and that's exciting, man. I'm looking forward to just sampling things in from my phone, just easily plugging it right next to, because I got to do like a whole other setup where sometimes I'll have to unplug, you know, if I want to, because I don't have an external mixer. So this helps a lot, because then, you know, increases your inputs to, like, you could technically now, this is like a 4 input MPC, right? Because you could go, if you have a turntable, you can go through the phonos. Oh, one thing I'm not seeing is a phono line switch. So that's interesting. So I guess they work simultaneously, which I like. That's a good thing because I thought that was kind of like when I had a turntable plugged in, I would have to switch between it. I had to reach around the back of the MPC and switch it to between phono and line. If I was doing a live stream and I'm talking through the mic and I'm sampling, I'd have to switch back and forth. So that's interesting to see that there's no switch. So they are, I guess they're going to be different inputs like on the software possibly. That's a curious thing. So yeah, like I was saying, technically this is like 4 inputs because you could have 2 mics or you could have 1 mic and then you can have like a guitar, you know, or some other source going in mono. So 2 monos, a phono stereo, and then you have like, you know, with the USB, you're going to be able to get stereo, but up to like 24 tracks. How many people are going to be using that? What do y'all think about that? 24 tracks over USB in and out. And what do you imagine using that for? I know a lot of you probably are going into DAWs. Would that be something that you're going to use, tracking out individual tracks through USB-C? So the I/O is nice, man. This is an improvement. I like that. This looks like, oh, this is the speaker, front view. Front view. And let me go back here. I do like the little grill on the mic. That's interesting. It's cool. Looks good. I'm very intrigued on. I bet you the mic. A lot of people are like, you know, because in the past, if you've had mics on like little portable sample units, they don't sound good. They're usually trash. So I bet you, and I'm hopeful, I think this might be a repeat of the whole speaker situation. Well, the speaker isn't like the greatest thing. It's actually usable, unlike a lot of built-in speakers on these on some of these portable groove boxes. Okay, so where are we at? Over here. Okay, front speaker. And the sides are looking a little bit different than they used to. Just a little bit change of a design there. Cool. And that's it. Okay, so now this one, that was from Illustrious Egg 6406. Now this one we could really zoom in and then take a look at everything. So let's go to the top. From left to right. Yes, we can see everything. So there's a set button. So obviously, right, I think the most obvious thing is step sequencer at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then some of these are the buttons that we usually have. Note repeat, full level, 16 level erase in the same configuration as the Live 2. But since we got the step sequencer buttons, instead of the pad bank buttons being above like the erase and all that, they seem to be next to them. Seem to be. They are obviously right next to them. All right, so this is what this looks like. This looks so very clean in comparison. But yeah, it's growing on me, just like you said, Shugito. I don't think he's around, but just like he said. And I think a few people are feeling that it's starting to grow on them as well. So let me just pull this back up. Look at some more. So we still got the pad banks and then copy. There's a notes button. Interesting. So that's cool. Notes button. With that, just what is notes button? I was thinking that was like the pad perform. But usually the pad perform is doubled up on 16 levels. If you double click that when you're on like a plug-in track, right? So if I was on a plug-in track, let's go to a plug-in track, and then I hit 16 levels. It brings me into this. Is this known as notes mode too? Or am I just overlooking something that I'm not thinking about? Could notes mode be something completely different? I'm tripping. I'll go through the chat in a minute. I'm just going to look at everything and then see what you guys are saying. So copy, delete, right? Cool. TC, right? Undo. Load. Good. Save. Sample edit and track mute. Okay, and they double up, of course. So notes and next sequence. Load project. Save as. Sample edit. Kind of hard to see that one. I guess that's the sampler. Track mute, pad mute. Okay, so that's link there as usual. And then now and previous next, follow, lock. I don't know what this is, but I think when I first seen this, even without being able to read it, I'm assuming that this is like, my guess is that this is for the mixer. What do you guys think? And I think that solves the one thing that sticks out. MPC and guitar, I don't know if he popped up in here. He was talking about how he didn't like the mixer because you only get 8 tracks on the screen at one time, and it's kind of hard to navigate if you work with a lot more tracks. So you got to go like this. Sometimes it doesn't really land where you might want it. So that would be cool. That's my assumption. I don't know, but maybe those previous next buttons could be for the mixer. Let me know what y'all think. Okay. And then looking at, I guess, the wording underneath each one of these step sequencer buttons look like they have other functions too. So looks like if you press that set button, maybe it changes the functionality from step sequencer to what this is. And we have a drum sequence and then a note sequence. So yeah, I'm not familiar with what that means. Step edit, note length. Note length. Last step, automation. And then see, yeah, we got the clip launch. This is someone had brought this up in a video, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, what the YouTube channel name was. But they had mentioned that they think that they're going to bring in like the clip launching and the force and all that, and it's all going to be kind of one system, one platform and stuff. And that looks like that's what they're doing here. So maybe drum sequence and note sequence. Any force users out there, is that kind of force language? Clip launch, row launch, track select. That's interesting. So maybe I wonder, maybe if you can, maybe you can select tracks by these step sequencer buttons. So maybe it's like a toggle type thing. You hold the set button and then you change the mode by pressing the pad. And then after you let go of set and press the mode, the step sequencer buttons will have a different purpose. And then, you know what I mean? Like if I hold set possibly and then press 9 while I'm holding set, it changes all the step sequencer buttons to track select. And so I can select different tracks, up to 16. And then maybe the now buttons, which are in line with them, then if you go next, then it switches to the following next 16 tracks. And then if you're in the mixer on the touchscreen, then it's also going to follow along with that. I don't know if that's what it is. That's my guess. And that sounds like a pretty good workflow right there. Okay. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Let me know what y'all think. Track select, track arm, track mute, pad mute. Well, I wonder why there's a track mute and a pad mute here when we have a dedicated track mute, pad mute button over here. And there is also a next sequence button over here and a dedicated one down here. Oh, shoot, man. My apologies. I thought I had this all on the screen, man. That's my bad. Let's go through it again. So I'm just looking at this stuff. All right. I did that whole speculating right there without having the actual image on the screen. But you guys can see this for yourself if you want to go look at it again for yourself. But yeah, so I'm just tripping. I'm looking at this like I was saying, like, yeah. So I think these step sequencer buttons are going to have multiple functions. If you hold the set button right there while pressing one of these step sequencer buttons, it goes into a new mode. And then like the track select, if you hold set and press 9, it turns all these buttons into track select. And then I was just kind of having this epiphany that if you press like now, previous, and next, that'll make these step sequence buttons up to 16 move to the next 16, and then it'll correlate with the mixer on the screen. All right, and then I was tripping like, why is there next sequence buttons if there's a dedicated next sequence button here under notes, and why is there track mutes and pad mutes as well right here under these step sequencer buttons if there's a dedicated track mute pad mute button there. So there's a Q-Link pad grid. That language sounds new. Oh, and this, what is this? Visuals. Any guesses on what that could be? Visuals? I have no idea what that could be. Any guesses are probably going to be better than mine. Visuals. And then you got edit actions. Yeah, I don't know what that might be. It's intriguing though, so I think I've looked at just about everything. What do y'all think? I'm gonna go ahead and pop in the chat and see what y'all think of all this. And did y'all see these? Let me know if you saw these on Reddit. If not, go check it out. It's under let me see, what is the, it's in the MPC users Reddit. All right, pulling up the chat. What's on your mind, guys? What are you thinking? How you feeling? Are you getting one? Would you like to see one of these live 3s on the channel? I think I'd like to. I may have an opportunity to get one from my guys over at Zams. So if you guys want to see it on the channel and really, you know, get some insight on it, I'll try to get one as soon as possible and help you maybe decide whether you want to get one if you don't happen to get one right off on release. Let me get a thumbs up on stream. Let's see. You guys are in here deep. All right. Sugito, okay, so he gave an answer. He said they're from a Czech website. DJ B Street, what's up? Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it does look fire, doesn't it? Why does the photo look so dusty? I'd answer that. That was just a thumbnail thing. SimCity Big World, what's up? Ali Star, how you doing, brother? I bet Tuesday they make announcement. See, I'm really done with that. I have no idea now because I've been saying Tuesday for the last month since September 1st, I believe. So I don't know if this is still live. The Reddit is still there. Wave Z. He'd be lost with those buttons. I don't know. Yeah, that's how I kind of felt when I first see it. It's a bit overwhelming. It's a bit busy, but I don't know, man. I mean, you do, like, I've become pretty good at the muscle memory with this thing, man. So I think you'd be surprised what your brain could do, you know. Hey Major, what's up, man? Salute. Y'all blessings to you as well. Check my email tonight, or when you get a chance, I'm gonna send you some better packs ahead of the release. Oh, this Wednesday. Hey, yeah, I will, man. Sounds good. I appreciate that. Brock, what's good? Each pad appears to have 4 sensors, 1 on each corner, maybe for MPE style gliding. Yes, that's a good idea. That's a good prediction or assumption. And then the other guy I was talking about that made a video when we were going over like some of the new functions under those step sequencer buttons, clip launch and stuff. He had mentioned in his video that he thinks that that it'll be cut into 4 so that you can launch a different clip with each corner, which would make more sense if they're actually bringing Force and MPC together into one ecosystem where they can, you know, you can work back and forth or work very similarly, because the Force has what, like 64 pads, and so that would I guess technically turn each pad into 4, and that adds up to 64 pads. 16 times 16, or 16 plus 16, or 16 times 4, 64. There we go. So yeah, both very possible. It does look like there's some sort of MPE stuff going on there with it. So that's, yeah, intriguing. I've been curious about trying the Force workflow. I think I would rather have a Force than that, because I like, and while some of this seems really intriguing, like the track selection, if that's really accurate to what I'm assuming, it looks like a really cool workflow. I just never tried the Force, but that hardware seems most appealing to me for that type of workflow where you actually have track selection buttons for each one under the row of clips. And I still don't know how that works exactly, but maybe I'll find out. So, and then that does like begs the question, like, will these MPCs, like my Live 2 and some of the others that are fairly new, but will they even get this? I wonder if they'll stop like the firmware updates for these older ones at some point. It's 16 sensors per pad. Well, that's heavy. That play sequence gotta say, stay close, man. I hate getting lost not playing my shit back. I'm not sure what you mean, that play sequence. You know what? I actually forgot to look at some of the. I'm gonna pull this up again because I forgot to look at all the buttons on the bottom. I was busy looking at the ones at the top, so I'm gonna look at that. They got compressed slightly when you posted them. Yeah, because I did notice the one that you posted. Well, photos are great, man. I appreciate it. I think we all appreciate it. The one on the other one looked just a little bit more clear. The specs on the website too, and if I'm correct, is slightly bigger than the live, but not as big as we thought from the SEC photos. Okay, interesting. MPE lights, still links to each other. I missed my live too, but the one got dope control through it button wise. The microphone gets feedback like a bitch, I imagine, right? Or there might be some sort of, there might be some sort of tech in that works. There might be some sort of gate, maybe. I don't know. Kind of like with your phone technology, I feel like there is some sort of like when I've talked to someone on the phone, you can play like music out your phone speaker, and then the person you're talking to can't hear it. So maybe I don't know how that works exactly. Bro says, mic is cool. Built-in speakers are a waste of space to me. Yeah, maybe be interesting if they gave you like options, like model options. One with a speaker, one with a mic only. Scrooge, that dude, what is up? Who was right? They trying to make MPC switch too. That'd be cool if it was the size of a switch, but the one USB and SSD drive was corny off the One Plus. Was corny or coming? What's up with the Bluetooth connectivity? Borrow Beats, what's up? XLRs for sure. Yeah, we got to look at that. I don't know if there was I got to look at the bottom. Maybe there's like a 48 Phantom, because I don't know if there is Phantom power on it yet. That would be a missed opportunity if they didn't. I can't sit down too long today. Woke up with my back all messed up. Oh. What new plugins? Wondering about new plugins? Yeah, it'd be interesting if they drop some plugins. I'm hoping for an improvement, some sort of a de-esser plugin, or if they add a de-esser to the channel strip, I'd be pretty happy. Why can't they add normal sliders? I don't know. They haven't done that since the MPC, 500 or 5000? I still don't understand the DAW connectivity. I got the Rascal analog, the Tascam analog recorder, so that 24 gonna be dope. Cool. Any recommendations on the right plugins to buy with the MPC? No, not really. I mean, as far as what, like instruments or like effects for. With all the buttons, they shouldn't have put buttons on the side. Like they should have put buttons on the side like a pinball machine for custom use. That'd be interesting. Kind of like the I thought it was pretty unique when the Yamaha Sectrack came out. They had all those buttons all around the sides. Lil Saf was good. Yep, step sequencer. Got it. Marichi, what's up? Lawless menu diving, or no, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think that's a lot more features that we're gonna see pop up. That Retro Live 2 be clean? Yes, sir. Cosmic Drums expansion? I haven't seen it, never heard of it. RIP Machine. Yeah, I hope to see more native instruments plugins. That'd be exciting with the MPC. So with the new functionality, what happens to old MPC? Can we just not use new features? That is the question. That's what I was just asking. Tactical MIDI, clip launches back. That's a whole different thing though, isn't it? Like force clip launching? I think we already talked about this a little bit, but I'm under the impression it's a totally different thing from what I remember. And I never really used the clips on the older MPCs. Not older MPCs, but in the older firmwares, was the clips were audio, but I don't know. Size specs based on the website are 4359 by 25. Okay. I can't decipher. Visuals for pad colors. I would assume, maybe, I don't know. Actually, I wouldn't assume. I didn't understand what you're saying there. The visuals button for pad colors? I don't know. You are going to control lights from MPC just like new Helix. I'm not familiar with that. The Helix. The meter. Visuals might be for changing pad colors. I don't see why they would have a dedicated button for that, man. So I don't think so. There's definitely a menu button for that. Like, you know what I mean? So volume meter next to the strip. Is there one? I'll look at it again in a second. You think there's anything in the pads been divided into four? Yeah, so we were talking about that a little bit. It looks like it's going to have MPE functionality and maybe possibly just speculation, maybe clip launching possibilities. There's like internal photos where you can look at the sensors and stuff. I wouldn't know how to decipher it. I don't know that stuff. So. DJ Wojtek. Considering the MPC Live 3 and the TR1000, that TR1000, if that's accurate, that doesn't really interest me. I don't know. Well, I don't really know much about it. I don't like the look of it, honestly. I'm not really into drum machines. Is it a sampler too? That would be the only thing that interests me. But I think $1,500 for what? It's MPE, 16 sensors. Jasper, what's up? I'm hyped for it. I like that it has more buttons than my MPC 1. I do think it's ugly, but I don't care much about that. Yeah, that's what I initially thought, like I said, but it's grown on me. MPE, yeah. Hey, you know what? Here's some speculation. Usually they have, you know, like with past releases, like with the Key 61, Scott Storch was, you know, in part of the marketing and all that. I'm kind of wondering if there be a bigger name that comes in and helps with the marketing. Not just the marketing. This is an assumption, but since we've seen like Roger Lynn he did an evaluation, like a review of the MPC Live 2. He did his own video. Kai sent him one, according to the video. And so at that time, yeah, I think a few of us were speculating that maybe he might have something to do with a new portable MPC. And now we see MPE and Roger Lynn, obviously, you know, the creator of the MPC and also the creator of the Linstrument, which I've never used, but I've seen it. It is an MPE device. So there could have been some consultation there, some collaboration possibly. It would be really cool to see that, you know. I think a lot of people would be happy with that. But maybe to find out if this is somehow his innovation. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. I don't know if you guys have seen pads that are separated in that way. And I wonder if that's just a design. I don't know. I've never used MPE devices. Is that usually how they are? Are they split up into sections of the pads? But also like the other MPE devices that I've seen just online from seeing pictures, a lot of these pads are a lot smaller. And then, well, I guess I can think of like the MPE Osmos keyboard. So that's a whole different thing. Or I guess the Rolly stuff. It might be worth the money. The Black Cat, what's up? You love the Force? I've got my Force attached to my Integra 7. Very nice. Yeah, I just never got it because it looks super bulky, and I probably wouldn't want to carry that around. And I do a lot of that moving around with my gear. Retro looks clean and classic. Yeah, Ghetto Styles. How did you get an actual photo of a UFO? Yeah, man. So I guess what was it? A Czech website? The case in more than one color option would be nice. It's at least not that horrible red anymore. Wayne, what is good? Julian, what's up? We would love to see the Live 3 on my channel. I appreciate it. Let me get a thumbs up from anyone who would like to. There's one thing to look at these pictures and speculate, man. It's going to be a whole lot of fun to try. There's phantom power, but it's activated in the software. How do you know this? I saw new Reverb Pro mentioned on MPC forum. What was that about? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Chocolate Boy Swagger, what's good? Got the MPC 1 Plus. Anyway, had an issue loading up a beat error. I don't know though. In the past, the only times I've had like those errors, it would be because I used to save on the internal drive, and then I solved that by no longer saving any projects on the internal drive. Just save them on the SD card slot. 32 floating point on the combo inputs is nice. No clipping. I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to that. Good to hear though. Looks like they took out the record volume knob. I didn't even think of that. We'll look at that again. Mix minus. What's mix minus? Is that the tech for the recording with the mic? Show picks. Yeah, I'll bring the picks up again. Weighing crew. Each pad is 16 sensors. The fact that it has an internal SSD makes it nice. Internal pictures. There's internal pictures over on the FCC site. Shukita, glad you're back in here, man. Are you still in here? Yeah, check website. Is it still up? I doubt it would be. Black Cat, we all know that MKII launch days are Thursdays, 10 a.m. Eastern. Well, I've always known them to be Tuesdays, like 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, around that, or 7. But all right, I'll take a seat back down here again, and then we'll look at the pictures again. What did you guys want to see? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the back again, because someone mentioned that the rec gain is gone, and I did not even notice that. Rec gain, that is not there. Rec gain is usually, that's interesting. No rec gain. So where in the world? Where in the world is, how do I adjust my rec gain? I got a main volume. That's a problem. The rec gain is just going to be in the software and the firmware. That's kind of odd, yeah. There's no way. So it usually would be here, like right around where the ground is. Any thoughts, fellas? Where is the rec gain on? And do y'all see that as a problem? Strange. It would have been nice if they added it to the top again, like the old MPCs. Okay, so I wanted to look down here because I completely forgot to look at the added buttons on the bottom. There's a menu button. That's interesting. Well, no, that's normal. I don't know why I thought that was interesting for a second. Okay, so we've seen these ones. Menu, main, track view, tap tempo, loop on, mic on, chord to arrange. Now have a sounds button, which was been kind of exclusive to the keyboard MPCs. What is this? I'm not sure. I think that's a shift button next to the sounds button. Edit. There's a sample edit, so I wonder what that edit's for. Arrange, mixer, arrange / matrix. Is the matrix force related? And then under mixer, I think that says input. Maybe there's going to be an input screen where you can change between like USB-C and like phono and line. But I am pretty intrigued about the new locate stuff. I guess they put this because this is going to be very helpful for the arranger. And let's see, record, overdub, regular transport stuff, click, stop and return, recall. I wonder if that's for like retrospective record for like MIDI notes. And then you have events, locate, start, and so yeah. I am looking forward to maybe using some of those things for like punching in and seeing how that would work for that workflow when I'm doing vocals. But yeah, it's odd. I feel like I did not notice that about the rec game. Just trying to see if there's any other evidence of. Hey, oh, I have a thought. I just had an epiphany. Maybe we got our volume knob up here, right? Maybe the rec gain will be able to be controlled by the touch strip. There's a dedicated touch strip configuration. So, and I don't have much experience with that. I'm assuming that the touch strip kind of works like a Q-Link and that you can, well, configure it. And there's a button right there that says touch strip configuration. So I wonder if that, I mean, that probably works differently within different windows, just like Q-Links. And I wonder if when you're in the sampler, that will work as a rec gain. That's my prediction. That would be lovely. What do y'all think of that? I think that's a pretty good guess. Let's see, chat window. I'll wrap this up. I gotta get my laundry finished. I gotta stop sitting here because my back is stiff. Getting old, fellas. Let's see. Yeah, Wayne said they took it out of the record because they could just add it to software. I don't like that idea though, but so I hope my guess is good. Mixed minus is what makes you able to talk on a phone and play music, but they only hear talking. That makes sense. So you think they'd have that kind of technology on the MPC? I'm basing all this off of my Evo 16, although hardware controls can be messed with inside of the software and vice versa. So maybe it's like that. I had an Evo for a minute. I had like a dual, like a 2-input one, the smallest one. And that way that worked is like you could press in the knob and change the input, that kind of deal. Soul Rise In, what's up? They took it out. Must be caused a 30-bit float. I just was looking at my live too, and I noticed, when the hell is this coming out? October 2nd? I'm not sure. You don't need a gain knob with 32-bit recording, really. Up to 4 hours battery, the size I said before, and potentially dropping soon. Cool. Y'all wanted a touchscreen? I mean, what do you mean? I think that would be a surprise if they took a touchscreen out of a Live 3. No, I want the knob, bro. Yeah, I'd like the knob too. No need for rec gain with 32-bit. It records at every level. I see what you're saying. Knob gate. If the website is correct, it's coming out Tuesday. Is that website still up? Locate keys is nice. Used to use them a lot on the MPC 2K. It's def coming out Tuesday because they remember that guy was able to pre-order it and they said they'll honor it and ships October 2nd. Oh, okay. Giorgio, let's go. What's up, man? You don't need one if it's now considered an interface now, I think. Okay. You just record and then press normalize and it's perfect level. Also mentioning a visual EQ. Huh. Interesting. Could that be something related to it, the visuals button? RIP knob. Yeah. Says ships October 2nd through 3rd. Ask Admin Creek. What is Av going to tell you? What's with the attitude, brother? Not bad. Kettle Styles. I'm not sure what you laughing at. Ship by the end of the week, maybe. Interesting. I said the launch day, the day that MKII announces official product with videos, that always on a Thursday at 10. It's been that way since 2020. Man, I don't know. I've been noticing Tuesday. I guess maybe I was wrong. All these buttons will make more sense when they put it on the X. Right now it just looks cramped. Better cancel my L6 max order. I'm not sure what that is. The touch strip will function the same way as it does on the 61. Yeah, I had the 61 briefly, but didn't really get too into the touch strip very much other than doing no repeat stuff. Oh wow, Safety 44, what's up? Hit the max storage on the Live 2. Just picked up a 2 TB SSD. What did you have in there before? Oh, okay. Thought you were talking smack about the tubers. It's all good though. MPC 37 was announced on a Tuesday. Yeah, man, that's what I've been remembering. It's been on Tuesdays. So, yeah, you don't think that the test strip will double up as a rec gain? A lot of you are saying that it's not even necessary to have a rec gain. Just had an internal and the SD card. Okay. Hold My Beer says it will be Tuesday. Okay. That's very soon. Either way, your guesstimations is all very soon. So exciting. And I mean, of course, I don't think we'd be seeing these pictures at this point if it wasn't sometime very soon. All right, I'm gonna jump off here, go finish my Sunday, get the laundry dried up and all that, man. I appreciate y'all kicking with me and looking at these photos. It's exciting. I can't wait to get one and try it out for a minute. And so, all right, appreciate y'all. Come on, see you next week.